But first, the European Union is facing fresh turmoil this morning after the resignation of Italy's Prime Minister.
Matteo Renzi stepped down after his constitutional reform proposals were rejected by voters. With most of the votes counted, almost 41% of Italians voted yes, but a clear majority of 59% voted no.
We're live now to Rome and our Europe correspondent Mark Stone. And Mark, in terms of anti-establishment movement across Europe, where does this sit in all of that?
Well, I think it's too simplistic to call this a clear victory for the anti-establishment movement. After all, what the Italian voters did last night, or yesterday, was actually vote for the status quo on a domestic level. What Italy's Prime Minister Matteo Renzi was doing and what he staked his political career on was very, very sweeping changes to the constitution, which would have streamlined the political process, made it easier for him to push legislation through, stop that gridlock that Italians have got so used to. But they said no. They said they would rather stick with the status quo. But they did that with the support and the backing of anti-establishment movements, both on the far right of Italian politics, the Northern League, and this rather not really left or right political movement led by Beppe Grillo, the Five Star Movement, has huge popularity here in Italy. The mayor of Rome is from the Five Star Movement, the mayor of Turin as well. They're powerful mayors. And so although this was a vote for the status quo, it was done with the support of anti-establishment parties. So it's more nuanced than to say this is simply another vote against the establishment. That said, the establishment in Brussels, the centrist governments of other European countries, looked on with anxiety. They had expected that Matteo Renzi might have foolishly on their behalf staked his political life on this and then lost. He did just that. The markets, which of course were worried about this because political instability means economic instability here in Italy and right across the Eurozone, well, they've reacted not nearly as badly perhaps as you might have thought. This would have been factored in beforehand because, as I said, they expected a loss. Nevertheless, the crisis talks which are taking place now in Brussels, European finance ministers are all there. They were due to be there. There'll be rather more anxious talks than they were when they were put in the diary a few months ago. Interestingly, the Italian foreign minister is not there. The reason for that is he is widely tipped to be the next prime minister. Matteo Renzi will hand in his resignation formally this afternoon at the presidential palace. There will be a cabinet meeting. The president will then decide who should be the caretaker leader. It's very, very unlikely that elections would be brought forward. They're due to be in early 2018. So we're not looking like a full change of government in terms of an election, but certainly uncertain times, and that for very, very weak Italian banks is uneasy for the European Union and for the Eurozone.
OK, Mark, we'll leave it there.